Good morning, David.
More than less, you're like 3 seconds late saying hello.
I was thinking about whether should I wave, should I stick my tongue out, so I just stopped talking.
I have abandonment issues, and that 3 seconds really bothered me.
See, it's 3 seconds you learn to be by yourself. So let's carry
Ooh,
on. Good morning,
excellent.
David, and everyone.
More or less. We're talking about something that we're going to say over and over and over again because it's so hard to comprehend. And again, Les and I are doing a workshop this weekend called Befriending Your Inner Critic. And initially, I really didn't like that term because these inner critics are actually irrational, but you have to understand them really carefully before you can work with them because they really are the real deal. This is not an imaginary construct. This is actually the way the brain works. And I've learned a lot from us about how the brain works. And he's worked a lot with this called acceptance and commitment therapy.
Yeah,
And it's just been a huge addition to the work that I do. And complement each other a lot. But what we're talking about today is your demons are who you are not. And we all have our demons. And we sort of take them seriously. They're loud voices, they're intrusive thoughts, they're disruptive. And we work really hard to try to solve them and conquer them. And it turns out it's a double-edged neurological trick. They're automatic, they're universal. Everybody has to deal with these things. So once you understand the problem, it's not so hard to solve. But I'm not trying to, I'm going to sound like a salesman for a second. And I'm not a great salesman, but this concept, understand how your brain works and what these thoughts can do and how deep they go and how disturbing they are. And they're actually disturbingly easy. I won't say easy, but it's not hard to solve these issues once you understand the problem. So your demons, the thing that happens is that when you suppress thoughts, we don't know they become stronger. But remember, if you're a well-intentioned person, there's more thoughts that are disruptive. And so, and when you suppress them and just toss them aside, you just gave them neurological energy. So the key word today is neuroplasticity. So your brain's going to be able to replace its attention, whether it's positive attention or negative attention. So that's
right.
a big issue. But even worse, and I'm now understanding this better, is that when you try to think about something positive, your unconscious brain comes in and wipes it out and substitutes negative thoughts. So either way, you're toast. Either way, whether
Yeah.
you try to think positive thoughts or try to suppress negative thoughts, either way is a problem. And there's a major research paper done that reviewed the literature of the last 10 years. And if you're under stress or what they call allostatic load,
Yep.
this is way worse. And so this workshop is really critical to look at this because once you understand this issue, it might be the one thing that can really change the quality of your life.
Yeah. David, I think, as you were speaking, the one word I was trying to think to summarize what you're saying is anguish. You
Okay.
know, anguish, it's such a weird word, anguish. What is anguish? That tormenting, slow, drawn out. And I know it's terrible image I'm about to share. It's like you're being dragged. And a lot of my patients and a lot of us, we've experienced this where we cannot get rid of something. And I think it is just so human to engage in this push-pull effect, trying to push bad things away, trying to feel good. There's nothing wrong in that. We're just built to survive that way. And anguish comes in when we don't realize that we don't have to fight with our thoughts. We don't have to be tormented by them. And I think what you keep saying over and over again is really to recognize is the harder it's. I think you use the word intentions. The greater your intentions are to be nicer or to try to exercise, you'll find out there's a part of you that doesn't want to. There's a polarity. Go ahead, David.
Well, I mean, I gave a talk to the fellows this week and all over the country, spine fellows in training. And we talked about this whole problem about the nervous system, the intake, the nervous system, your physiology, basically your body's chemical state dictates your
Right.
psychology. So we went through that really nicely. And then, of course, the subject of physician burnout came up. And, physicians are particularly, well, any healthcare professional, psychologist too, if you're well-intentioned, you want to help people, right?
Yeah.
Bigger this problem. So what they're missing on burnout is this problem because your brain is full of to-dos, self-critical, it never stops. And so people that are in higher, I mean, every profession, people want to do a good job. But if your goal is to really help people be compassionate, this problem is actually worse. So that when you
Yeah.
talk about burnout and you use the word anguish, physician, again, I keep mentioning the word suicide because it came up again. Female
Yeah,
physicians have 400%, they have 4 times the incidence of suicide as the general population. Male physicians double. It's
yeah.
happening, keeps happening every week. We hear more about this thing, and that anguish word is a big deal, and it's driven largely by this inner self-critical voice.
Yeah, it's and that's the part, I guess, when you close your eyes, they're there. When you open your eyes, they're there. I think we all can know that. To this morning, I had a lot of stuff to do before 6 a.m., besides workout and a few other things. And so I remember
So why were you on time today?
because my class got out early, so my
Oh,
instructor let me
okay.
out early. I said, Dr. Hanscom is riding my rear. I've got to get out of here. In the middle of the set, I had to leave. So
Oh, God. All right, now I'm feeling bad. I'm in anguish.
I'm just a specialist in guilt trips. Anyhow.
Right.
So,
But
but
right, but see, that's what guilt is. Guilt is anger turned inward, right?
yeah,
Isn't
yeah, it
that
is. And
right?
and some people have called it and it can even go to depression. So one of the things is it's always there. And what David and I are trying to come across to you is this is it's really the most frustrating thing. David and I talk, especially David, I really emphasize this in his book, Back in Control, and his teachings, is this, that, the mental anguish, let's call it mental versus physical in the sense, the mental aspect of your chronic pain or your stress in your life, that is really powerful. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a physician, surgeons, psychologist, doesn't matter. The average Joe and Sally, the mental anguish, the tormenting of not being able to get it. And that's what it is we're trying to get rid of the pain. We're trying to get rid of the thoughts. And you're going to find out that that is actually the most counterproductive things. And some of you will say, no, 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 it does work. Well, it does work, but it's a temporary relief, much like different injections and different traditional medical interventions for chronic issues. It does work, but it's a temporary relief. I think what David and I are trying to say to you is it's really, really not that hard once you learn that this is just sounds in my head. I don't have to listen to it. So at 4 in the morning, as I was in bed doing my breath work, my mind started to say, let's go, come on. And my stomach started to churn because of all the stuff I had to do. I just stopped and giggled and I said, I just told everyone to settle down. So I think of my thoughts as children, not in a condescending manner, but children who what I call are parentified. Children are given too much responsibility. So when I show up every morning to myself during difficult moments, I become the parent of all my thoughts. And I'm very kind and gentle. And I basically told them, hey guys, I need to settle down and not be so loud today. And but because I'm going to be here today taking care of things.
So
And
I'm gonna try to have the last word today. Just
oh no, no, David. Remember today's
oh,
Monday, right? Wait, David. Mondays I get the last word.
okay. I'll have next to the last word. So I just want to differentiate really carefully. So we have threat versus safety. Thoughts that are unpleasant are a threat. And there's different categories of them. And then anxiety is that sensation generated by your body's physiology. That flight or flight state generates a sensation that we call anxiety. So thoughts and anxiety are two different things, right?
Yeah, and so that's exactly. And I think even last night, David and I were talking about this. Is the reality is these are sensations that show up in your body.
Right. So you have these sensations. So the inner critics are those voices.
Yep,
And that correct? I just want to be
yep, 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 yep.
I'm learning as we go also here. But here's the thing, the antidote to anxiety, that sensation, is a survival sensation. You have to take action to survive. So the antidote to anxiety is control, right?
Yep.
However, the solution is actually giving up the need for control.
Yes.
There you go, a Davidism.
Wow,
So
David.
that's the paradox of back in control. You learn to give up the need for control. All the stuff goes away because remember, human consciousness is the problem. And so if you're physically threatened, you take control. But what you're doing, you're taking control of your reactions and you have a
Yeah.
choice. And this teaches you how to make that choice. So again, we're doing this workshop this Saturday. It's called Befriending Your Inner Critic. I'll put it up on today's Facebook page. And we're also doing a November workshop, which is the other half of the equation, is we're going to de-energize or negate the inner critics. And then the November workshop is how do you connect to the best part of who you are?
Yeah.
And so there's two sides to this equation. So, all right, you want to try the last word after that?
Yeah. Wow. I mean,
That
that's
was
pretty,
pretty, that was pretty profound. Wasn't that profound?
it was pretty profound. I think we shouldn't mess with it and just breathe through it.
All right. Well, have a great day. And again, next Saturday, please look at our websites, and is remedypain.co for Dr. Arya and the docjourney.com for me. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a great one, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.